Hey everyone, it is Julie here with Tip Ranks. Once again, I had the pleasure of being joined by TheStreet Pro's CEO, Jason Meshnick. Jason, thank you for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Julie. How about yourself?
I can't complain, doing well. Today, we're diving into your most recent article, and that goes over three stock picks from the legendary Stephen Sarge Guilfoyle. So, to kick it off, could you just give us a bit about Sarge's track record and why his calls have been noteworthy?
Absolutely. So Sarge has been with the Street Pro for a number of years. I can't remember the exact number. It's at least 10, maybe 15. I don't think it's 20, but he's been around for a long time. And I'll just tell you before I get into his track record, one of my favorite things that Sarge writes every day. I try to read everything that everyone writes. I can't get through all of it, but every morning I look at Sarge's Market Recon as being kind of one of the must-read pieces that starts my day off. So
Mhm.
he goes through everything that's happening in the market, everything that you need to know, and he'll throw in some stories from his time, in the military, which can always be fun, and they relate back to things that we're all experiencing today. And oftentimes he'll throw in some song lyrics too. So that's always good stuff. But yeah, on to we should be reading Sergeant stuff for the stock for sorry for his song picks. We should be reading it for his stock picks. And he's had some really great picks over the years. So since I've been involved with the Street Pro, in 2023, his stock pick of the year was AMD, which was up 128%. In 2024 and 25, he actually picked the same stock 2 years in a row, which is a little bit surprising. We were expecting something new from Sarge, but it didn't matter because in 2024, Palantir was up 340%, and then the next year in 2025, it was up just a scant 135%.
Okay.
So, right, if you had
No, no.
invested $100 in those picks back in 2023, or I guess the end of 22 when he first picked AMD, you'd be up, 1,354 today. Or if you continued with SOFI, which is his pick for this year that has not performed well, it's actually down 30%. You'd still be up $950. Now, Sarge initially picked SOFI in his stocks under 10 portfolio, his small cap related portfolio. So even though he's had some trouble in it this year, he's still up pretty solidly in it.
Well, and that leads us right into our first stock that we're talking about today, which is SoFi. And as you mentioned, it is
Exactly.
down, I think you said about 30% since his initial pick there. So how has he managed this trade as the share price has declined? And can you summarize why the stock was initially on his radar, like what that initial thesis was?
Yes, we've talked about this stock a couple of times already, and I just keep bringing it up because Sarge keeps writing about it, and he keeps writing about it because there's so much happening. And it's not so much that there's lots of things happening fundamentally with the stock; it's really more technical and more, things that are happening around the share prices. So I'll give you quickly the original case for SoFi. There's a few things. So first of all, Sarge is a huge fan of Anthony Noto. Anthony Noto was a football star at West Point. Well, yeah, excuse it, on the Army football team. So then he was also a Wharton grad. So he's got, multiple facets of him. He's obviously a very disciplined person. He then went to work for Goldman Sachs. And also on the technology side, he worked at Twitter. One of the things that Sarge really likes about him is that he's done some great acquisitions since joining the company, and he's basically just working hard to drive this business forward. The other big thing is, and this is all related, is that this is a play on AI. Sarge really sees this as being, kind of one of the big beneficiaries of AI in the financial space. He sees AI allowing SoFi to use the resources better, make the company more efficient, and most importantly, give them better margins. So it'll become a more profitable earnings monster.
And so now jump forward to current day. What are some of the new
Yeah.
catalysts that are giving him renewed confidence?
Okay, so some of the new catalysts, it goes back to one of Sarge's main reasons for holding the stock, Anthony Noto. So Anthony Noto is obviously a large holder. He owns around $207 million worth of the company's stock. And just on Monday, he made another $1 million purchase. So $1 million as a percent of 200, not that much. But the point is,
Still a notable chunk. Yeah.
it is a notable chunk. It's bigger than I could buy. And
Yeah.
Right. But most importantly, it signals that he has belief in this company. And it also came at a time when the price was sitting at a key retracement level. So if you look at the price chart from 2024 through today, the
Mhm.
heart of this rally was really around, I think, August of 2024 through last December, before it became selling off. Well, it's just done about a 50% retracement of that, or of that move. So Sarge feels that there's some support in here based partially on that. Fundamentally, the company also announced a partnership um, with MasterCard, and yeah, and then that partnership allows SoFi's USD stablecoin. These are all hard terms for me. So it allows for basically for their stablecoin to be cleared and settled on MasterCard's platform. This is unique in that it's the first fully reserved coin to be offered by a major financial institution. So that's a really big deal for the company.
That's exciting. And then what are some of the key levels and like price targets that Sarge is watching?
Yes, we talked about that 50 or even 61.8% retracement level. And so the 61.8% retracement level has us right down to around 16. The stock's a little bit above that now. And so that's why Sarge feels that this is a really key level. And it's a level that he was willing to step in and actually do some buying for himself, and as well as recommend it for subscribers. 23 is the next level to watch. That is where the 200-day simple moving average is, and he thinks that that'll be an important level for the stock to get through. You can also, if you look at the chart, you'll see there's a little bit of activity in that general area going back over the last month or so. So that'll be an important level. But 29 is his main remains his target price for the year.
Okay, perfect. Then moving on to our second stock, we have Ondas. So can you explain briefly just what this company does, if our viewers aren't aware, and what makes the business an interesting setup right now?
I wish that our contributors would start writing about companies that I really understood. They're just not, because I guess that those companies are ones that just don't have the great opportunities that some of these more complex ones do. Um, but yeah, so Sarge is writing about this company called Ondas, and basically what they do is they make private wireless drone and automated data solutions, and we're looking at it here because of the drone business, and really that big catalyst is the war in Iran. So that's why it came across Sarge's desk as something for him to start looking at. The other thing is that there's a $10 million investment that they just announced with Worldview Enterprises that was announced on Monday.
Yeah, and can you tell us a bit more about that deal there and what makes that meaningful? Obviously, $10 million is a big move, but what's behind that?
Yeah, so it outlines a collaborative framework to create solutions related to intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, all the ENSs, for defense and commercial clientele. So again, this is a bit of a defense play, as we're looking at the actions being taken in Iran right now, and so some of what's happening with this company could be really relevant here, and they could see additional spending by the defense industry.
All right. And then when we talk price targets, when we look on tip ranks, it shows that analysts definitely have broad upside, but some varied expectations. How does Sarge's view stock up against Wall Street's consensus here?
So the consensus on tip ranks is for around 17 and 1750. Sarge's consensus, or Sarge's target price, is just below that at $17. So that would still be around 70% upside from where the stock is currently. The Wall Street analysts, though, their spread is much bigger. The high analyst is around 25 and the low is 13. Either way, even if the low target gets hit, well, that's still about 30% upside from where it is right now, but Sarge is a little bit more optimistic than that.
Yeah, pretty bullish outlook all around. Then moving
Yeah.
on to our third stock, we have RTX. This is a big established defense name. I believe it was the combination of Raytheon and United Technologies.
Yep.
What's the core bullish thesis here?
So again, this is another defense contractor that he thinks will benefit from the actions that are happening in the Middle East. Their products are products that we're all familiar with, probably unfortunately, but familiar with in the defense area. They are names like Patriot missile interceptors, Tomahawk Sidewinder missiles. These can be used for offense, defense, and really they arm or defend everything, be it on land, sea, air, even personal, apparently. So pretty kind of amazing technologies when you think about what these companies are able to accomplish. Shooting down missiles that are flying through the air is kind of amazing.
Absolutely. And he points to obviously like conflicts boosting restocking needs. So how does that translate into earnings and share gains in his view?
Yeah, so I had no idea how much these things cost. I always assumed that they were a lot, but each
Yeah.
Patriot missile is $5 million. And so I did
Wow.
a quick Google search. Sarge did not mention this in his article, but I did a quick Google search this morning. I don't know if this is accurate, but let's just take Google at face value. Google says that 800 missiles have been, uh, 800 Patriot missiles have been used so far in the Iran war. So 800 times 5 million each is $4 billion. And this is just in the first couple of days, first few days of the conflict. If this is supposed to go on for weeks, I didn't even do the math, but it's going to be enormous. And the US and Israel and other allies are going to have to restock. So it's just going to be an enormous amount of money that's going to be spent on this war.
Yeah, that's some big price tags there. Now, since
Huge.
Sarge, I think, has said he's up about 77% already on this position, but he's mentioning again, does he obviously still see some runway for growth? And besides these catalysts, anything else he's watching in the near term?
Yes, one of the things I love about Sarge is he's always got skin in the game, right? He's telling us that he loves these stocks, but he also owns these stocks. And so one of the great things is that he's always following them and he gives us constant updates. So it's not like, it's not like he's just saying, hey, this RTX stock, you should buy that, but he has, never
Yeah,
thinks about it again. He's always thinking about it. So yeah, he's been writing about the stock for a while. He's up 77% in the position. And yeah, he still sees upside. He has a target of $247 for this year. That's only a 20% gain, but that's still pretty solid. And he sees this as being a little bit more of a consistent mover. One of the things that he's been looking at is the chart. So he sees there's support of the 50-day moving average, which held successfully. Um, the other thing is the earnings will be announced on April 28th. So we still have, what is that, 6, 7 weeks from now. And obviously, one of the things that will bear watching for the success of this trade is how long the war goes on. So if the war seems like it's going to take longer, that's obviously going to be beneficial for earnings for the stock. So
sure. And his
yeah.
$247 price target does sit a bit above the average analyst estimate. Any other reasons that this could differ? Why he's feeling a little extra bullish?
Yeah, the analyst consensus is 224. The spread between the high and low analysts is 204 to 238. I would say the stock is anything but cheap. It also has a PE of 40, so I think that's something that people should watch. But Sarge is never afraid to go against the consensus. There was a recent technical breakout. So when Sarge wrote about the stock last week before this war, he was saying, "Hey, watch out! There is a potential double top." Um, so one thing that I was always told as a technical analyst is that there's nothing more bullish than a failed breakdown. So as we were looking at this as being a possible breakdown that didn't happen, instead we had more of a consolidation. So Sarge was looking at this as it's definitely bullish. He also notes that the $200 price target, which I was always told was fairly expensive when I was trading on Wall Street, $20 was like the retail friendly number. But
Yeah.
Sarge says that at around $200, this is still sort of a retail friendly number. It's not like some of the tech stocks that are in the thousands now, or Berkshire Hathaway that's in hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
So these are all things that people can sort of identify with price wise, and someone with a couple $1,000s might say, yeah, I'll buy 10 shares, and it becomes easier for them to buy than say buying one share of some of these tech stocks.
All right, makes sense. Well, perfect. Thank you for walking us through these stocks today. Of course, for our viewers, just a reminder, these videos are never a suggestion to buy or sell any specific stock. So do your own research and due diligence. Head on over to Tip Ranks, do some research on these, and let us know your thoughts below. Jason, thank you so much for joining me again, and I'll see you back here next week for our next round of Street Pros Insights.
Sounds great. Thanks so much, Julie. I'll see you
Thank
next
you.
week.